Welcome to this episode of MoGuard TV. I'm Private First Class Samantha Whitehead with the 70th Mobile Public Affairs Detachment. In this episode, we'll examine the steps that a recruit takes to become a soldier in the Missouri Army National Guard. We'll begin with a brief overview of the Missouri National Guard and the professional and educational opportunities that it has to offer. We'll also learn about the administrative process and the Guard's recruit sustainment program. We'll then learn about the Army's basic training and advanced individual training, and finally, the culminating event when soldiers report to their new units. This first segment is a brief overview of the Missouri Army National Guard and the professional and educational opportunities available to soldiers.
The Missouri National Guard has been serving the Show Me State for over 200 years. The Guard is primarily made up of muster day or M-Day soldiers who report to their unit for drill 1 weekend a month. These soldiers also do 2 weeks of specialized training every year. To carry on their mission of being always ready, always there, this force of citizen soldiers is looking for a certain type of person to join their ranks.
We're looking for highly motivated and driven young men and women from diverse backgrounds that are interested in bettering their lives while serving their community. We're looking for that scholar athlete kind of person. They're both physically fit as well as mentally sharp and want to be a part of the best team out there.
Age criteria for enlisting in the National Guard is 17 and 35. The cutoff to enlist and go to training is 35. As long as they're shipped to training before their 35th birthday, they can still enlist. A vast majority of enlistments into the National Guard are typically the 17 to 25-year-olds.
When we enlist a high school kid, we have to make sure they're on track to graduate high school. So if they're not on track, we have to go talk to the counselor, talk to the student, and make sure, because if they don't graduate, they don't go to training. So we're looking for people that's going to take care of themselves and have that thirst for learning.
There are some factors that can disqualify a person from joining the Guard.
The factors that will disqualify an applicant, the biggest ones are law violations, medical issues, and tattoos.
Tattoos on the face, neck, and hands are not allowed, with the exception of one ring tattoo on a finger.
If you have too many legal violations, you can't enlist into the military, or depending on the severity of the legal violations or the nature of them, you can't enlist.
One of the greatest benefits to joining the Guard is the GI Bill, which helps pay for college. A soldier can take advantage of this after they have completed their initial training.
The GI Bill is tax-free money, and they prorate it for how many ever hours you're taking in school. We tell our enlistees, hey, take advantage of it, go full-time if you can, and you'll get the full rate. It's extra money, and college isn't cheap, so every little thing helps. If they have student loans when they enlist, we can help pay those back up to $50,000.
Missouri National Guard soldiers can take different paths in their military careers.
In the military, you have two sides of the house. You have your enlisted and you have your officers.
We have officers and warrant officers. Officers and warrant officers are both different kinds of leaders in the National Guard. Our officers typically come from within our ranks, and they typically are coming from Officer Candidate School and Reserve Officer Training Corps. Warrant officers are those who have been in our ranks for a while and have developed a technical expertise. They're managers of different programs and systems a lot of times. Officers on the leadership side are also going to lead troops and be supervisors and managers.
The enlisted side of the house, we get our hands dirty, we take care of all the work. And the officers are pretty much the executives of the company. They're responsible for everything.
Being in the Missouri National Guard is also an asset to your civilian career.
There are so many more people out there that support hiring veterans and military personnel than they would ever imagine. Employers out there have learned some very key things about military personnel. We know how to get up in the morning and show up to work. We are responsible. We understand accountability. We know what hard work is. They may have to let you go for 2 weeks, once a year, to go do some training. Or historically, they've had to let employees go for a year for a deployment. Most of them overall are happier with their performance when they're there than they are with average employees that aren't in the military. We bring a certain level of leadership and problem solving that your average civilian population does not have. I would strongly encourage anyone who has any interest whatsoever to at least go in and talk to a recruiter and see what the National Guard has to offer them and what we bring to the table for you.
I was a recruiter for 7.5 years, so receiving emails from soldiers that you've enlisted in the past saying thank you for what you've done for me and my family is invaluable.
I don't know anyone that is not happy with their Guard experience. They all have great stories. They've all loved it, whether they do 6 years or 20. I don't know anybody that regrets their time in the Guard.
Voila.
After the break, we'll take you through the administrative processing of a new recruit and learn about the Guard's Recruit Sustainment Program.
When a new recruit makes the decision to join the Missouri National Guard, their recruiter will schedule a day for them to go to MEPS.
MEPS is a military entrance processing station. There's different facets that happen there. The first initial step is taking the ASVAB test.
82 on the ASVAB, good job.
ASVAB stands for Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. A minimum score of 31 out of 99 is required, and the test helps determine what job a recruit will have in the Guard. The type of job is designated by a Military Occupational Specialty, or MOS.
A soldier is assigned to a unit by what job they end up picking, and that falls back to the ASVAB test.
There's technical scores in different areas. From that, the recruiter will do the research for that applicant.
We tell them what they're qualified to do, and then we allow them to pick what they want to do, and then we have to make sure that job's available or that slot in the unit is available.
We look at opportunities that they can do within their home area, within a 55-mile radius, and if the job's open or not.
In addition to taking the ASVAB test, picking an MOS, and being assigned to a unit, there is a qualification stage to the MEPS process. This includes a background check as well as a health screening physical.
MEPS is a long day. I think the biggest thing that people don't understand about MEPS is that it's a formality and that everybody has to go through a rite of passage to become a soldier. We try to make the process as painless and as smooth as possible for that applicant joining because we know it's a long day. At the end of the day at MEPS is when they officially become a soldier in the Army National Guard. They have a formal process where they raise their right hand and get formally sworn into the National Guard. And at that point, they're officially a soldier.
Following their day at MEPS, the soldier will report to an RSP drill on the next scheduled drill weekend.
RSP is the Recruit Sustainment Program. It is the drill weekends once a month that each soldier attends prior to attending basic training. The primary function of RSP is to help train these soldiers and get them prepared mentally and physically for basic training.
The Recruit Sustainment Program is really designed to give those individuals a baseline of what to expect when they get to basic training, so that way it's not as big a shock to their system, and they've got a head start on some of the skills that they're expected to learn, so they're ahead of some of their peers when they arrive.
Some of the training that RSP does includes physical fitness, land navigation, leadership. They get to do classes on military history, understanding how to wear a uniform, how to march, a lot of the basic Army 101 fundamentals. Anything they can pick up at RSP as far as understanding, learning, memorizing will help them on their journey when they actually start day one of basic training.
One of the biggest challenges that these new soldiers are faced with is the PT or physical training they will go through at their RSP drills.
We will do a APFT, Army Physical Fitness Test, comprised of 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. We gauge them to see where they're at.
That is our chance to let them know that PT is something that you do the other 28 days a month. You can't get in shape just 2 days a month. And again, our job is to prep individuals for basic training.
The idea behind RSP is to train a soldier, give them a leg up on the other soldiers, try to get them through training, and to get as many people through training as we can for the state of Missouri.
I definitely believe there's proof that RSP works for the National Guard. We have soldiers that come back from basic training and they do their last drill with RSP. During that RSP drill, we talk with those soldiers and we find out how was basic training, what was good for you, what was bad for you. We invest a lot of money in soldiers going to basic training. If we lose those soldiers along the way and know why, we can alter our training battle focus, if you will, on how to keep training our force so when they go to basic training, they are getting trained and they're coming back to us a valuable asset.
When we return, we'll be shipping off to basic and advanced individual training where warrior skills and occupational training take place.
For over 375 years, our nation's citizen soldiers have sacrificed, struggled, and triumphed at home and abroad. Through resolve, resilience, and readiness, our Army National Guard continues its proud legacy.
As citizen soldiers,
we are your next door neighbors.
We're your colleagues in schools, offices,
in factories,
in every corner of America. The Army National Guard is hereby. We have a stake in the safety and security of our communities.
After all,
that is where we live.
We serve in Afghanistan,
Iraq, the Balkans,
Africa, the Sinai, and the United States southwest border.
We are citizens.
We are soldiers. We are your neighbors. We are always ready. We are always there.
The Army National Guard. Over 375 years of value and vigilance.
Before joining their assigned unit, new soldiers in the Missouri Army National Guard are required to attend basic combat training. Recruits will learn basic tactical and survival skills, along with how to shoot, rappel, and march. They will also learn the basics of Army life and military customs, including the 7 core Army values.
It's 9.5 weeks, and it trains you how to become a soldier. You have to pass each phase and different tests along the way to actually graduate a basic training. Just because you go doesn't mean you're going to graduate.
Soldiers from the Missouri National Guard will attend their basic training at one of 4 active duty Army bases.
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Fort Benning, Georgia, or Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Basic training demands that a soldier stay focused on the task at hand, but also aware of the fact that it is a long, challenging process.
If you put in the work every day, realize that you go to sleep and wake up and you're still there and you're getting paid to do so, basic training is not really that bad, but it is definitely a challenge for somebody that's not used to that environment.
I tell them the hardest part about training is being away from their family. They can handle the physical aspect of it, they can handle the mental part of it. It's all about being away from the family is the hardest part of it. In order to graduate, you have to pass so many tasks. A task could be like first aid, weapons qualification, grenade qualification, things like that. They do force a lot of material in a short amount of time. Over 30 tasks, and if you break that down into 9 weeks, that's not a lot of time. So you're training every day. Maybe a little bit of time off on Sunday. A lot of training from pretty much sun up to sundown.
Popular culture has portrayed basic training as a grueling punishment of being constantly yelled at by an imposing drill sergeant. Although difficult, it is much different from Hollywood's version of boot camp.
Transformation is achieved by introducing new soldiers to stress. While yelling is a tool that some drill sergeants use, it's not necessarily a requirement. It's not a mandatory thing that all soldiers must be yelled at in order to introduce stress.
They're trying to prepare you for the possibility of being sent to a dangerous place where there are constant real stressors. And you can't really simulate that effectively 24 hours a day unless you make it mental. And you don't have to scream at somebody to do that. There were some that took that approach. I had a drill sergeant that I rarely heard raise his voice, and he got the job done. They're more focused on you learning. If you're not learning, then they're failing. Not everybody responds to the yelling. Their main goal is to create soldiers that are gonna go forth and continue to learn and do great things. However they achieve that is their job.
I'm looking for a self-sufficient, disciplined soldier who can make decisions on their own on the battlefield.
Missouri Army National Guard soldiers train alongside active duty and reserve soldiers. The United States Army has the same standard of evaluation and performance for all soldiers.
Everyone that enlists into the Army, whether it's active, reserve, or guard, attends the exact same 9 weeks of basic training.
We wear the same uniform, same pay, same benefits, everything's the same. We just have a separate mission, a different mission, if you will.
You want to know and have that ability to rely on your left and right counterparts, that they know what they're doing, they've been trained.
In both of my deployments, one to Iraq and one to Afghanistan, we were embedded with National Guard soldiers, and their proficiency level was the same as ours. So we knew that if we needed help, we could ask them for help and have the same expectation of them that we could have of another active duty unit. Regardless of their component, if you're wearing this uniform, we know as soldiers that we can trust each other. On my first deployment in 2008, I actually ran into a National Guardsman who was one of my battle buddies in basic training. So I was able to see him down in Iraq and actually serve alongside him.
It all comes back to that training together and going through the same thing together, and you just never know when you're going to see each other again.
And Missouri National Guard soldiers can be confident in knowing the level at which their active duty and reserve counterparts have been trained.
So I went to Desert Storm in 1991, so I got to experience it for myself. It was comforting to know that my peers were trained just as well as I was.
Once you graduate basic training, then you attend your AIT, your Advanced Individual Training. AIT can be as short as 6 weeks or as long as 7 or 8 months, depending on the job they pick.
Basic training graduation is always on a Thursday. Soldiers start their AIT the following Monday. Oftentimes, they are doing basic training and AIT at different Army bases. The Army handles the travel arrangements to get a soldier from one base to the next over the 3-day weekend. Certain MOSs have basic training and AIT as one seamless process, all at the same location. This is called One Station Unit Training, or OSUT. Military police and combat engineers have their OSUT at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Infantry have their OSUT at Fort Benning, Georgia.
But the good thing is they get paid for everything they do. So regardless of how long their training is, that soldier is earning their paycheck each month.
There is one common circumstance for a Guard soldier not doing their basic training and AIT back-to-back.
There's an option for high school juniors to join the National Guard early. It's called the split training option. Soldiers can come to basic training in the summer before their senior year of high school, and then come back after high school to do their AIT portion.
The training that Missouri Army National Guard soldiers receive through basic and AIT can help their civilian careers and be of great benefit to the companies that they work for.
Missouri National Guard soldiers who come to training, no matter what it is, they can take those skills and techniques and use them in the outside world to help local businesses grow and be better corporations.
After AIT, soldiers will do one final RSP drill before they report to their assigned unit for monthly drills. That soldier is not the same person that they were before they left for basic training and AIT.
The biggest change you notice is an air of confidence and pride that they didn't have when they left. You come away from there with a real sense of accomplishment, like, man, I've really done something and I'm starting on the path of a really great journey. When they're at that last RSP drill, some of those kids that are new, who are farther down the path than they are, they're like, wow, that's what I want to be.
In our final segment, we'll learn about the culminating event when a new soldier reports for duty at his or her unit.
For the Missouri Army National Guard, monthly weekend drills and the 2-week-long annual training sessions are when soldiers prepare for potential federal or state missions. This force of citizen soldiers are living, working, and attending school in the communities they serve.
And we have it planned when they enlist that they're going to drill somewhere close to home or school. That's the whole point of the Guard, is being able to serve in your local community. So we want to make sure that they're drilling somewhere close to home. That way they can serve and also be a part of the community in the area they live. As soon as they graduate AIT, they come back that month and have their final recruit sustainment program drill. At the RSP drill, the very last one that soldier has on Sunday, usually they congratulate and welcome everybody back home, and then they give them a packet and say welcome back, congratulate everybody if there's promotions that need to happen, and then from there, that's kind of their last send-off, and there usually are unit representatives there to say, hey, welcome to our unit, I'll see you next month, this is who I am, to kind of bridge that gap between training soldier and now an asset to the unit. The following month after that is when they will report to their unit of assignment and become a unit drilling member from there on out for the rest of their contract, doing their 1 week in a month drills at their unit.
The unit has a retention person in each unit. They'll sponsor them, make sure they meet everybody from the commander all the way down. They'll make sure they get in the right squad when they form up, and they make them feel at home.
The new soldier will have to learn the ins and outs of the unit, but they may also be given the opportunity to share their knowledge with the unit.
Some may look at that new recruit as a brand new soldier. They haven't learned anything yet. Other members in that unit might look at them as, hey, they just went through the latest training of RMOS. They just got back and they can share the new techniques. They trained on the new equipment that we're supposed to be getting we may not have received yet.
The drill weekend is a mixture of focused training and opportunities for soldiers to bond with one another in and outside of the armory.
On the typical drill weekend, the leadership's going to arrive at the armory probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have a final meeting going over who's responsible for what. First formation, probably about 7 a.m. Once everybody's accounted for, you're ready to go. You divvy out the task, the training, whatever it is, and everybody gets to it. You'll break for lunch, then following lunch, you're going to get back at it, get in some more training. Train till the training's done. You know, we have a saying in the Army, we train to standard, not the time. So you're going to train until you've got it right. Then once released, a lot of times you got people who are going to change into civilian clothes, go into town, go watch a movie, head out to some local establishment, have dinner, watch the basketball game, watch the football game. It's very much a small, tight-knit community because a lot of times this is the only time you're seeing these people during the month. And that's your chance to be together, hang out, and you share a common bond that you don't with other people.
Recruiters of the Missouri Army National Guard maintain a similar bond by keeping in contact with the soldiers they recruit as they start their military careers.
We'll continuously see these soldiers through the cycle. We'll get them in, see them in RSP, and then we'll see them at their home unit also to let them know, hey, we haven't forgot about you, and we take care of them through the whole process.
It is now my honor to introduce the commander of the Missouri National Guard, the Adjutant General, Major General Steve Danner.
Thank you, PFC Whitehead, and thank you viewers for watching this episode of MoGuard TV. Our mission is to organize, train, and prepare a community-based force of citizen soldiers and airmen to serve our state and nation. In this episode, we've followed the training that a recruit takes to become a soldier in the Missouri Army National Guard. Our ideal recruit has a willingness to learn, the ability to meet changing demands, and the desire to be part of an outstanding organization. The Missouri National Guard is ranked in the top 3 in the nation when it comes to personnel readiness. We currently serve from the banks of the Missouri River to the valleys of Afghanistan. It is my honor and privilege to lead some of the finest soldiers that this country has to offer. The success of our organization depends on the caliber of the individuals that we are able to recruit and retain. If you are interested in becoming a member of our Guard family, please visit us on the web at moguard.com. On behalf of Governor Jay Nixon and our nearly 12,000 Guardsmen, thank you for your support.